Well, good afternoon, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started here. There's still some folks jumping on, but they'll catch up. Just a couple of house cleaning items here. Everyone should be on mute, and I'll unmute lines as well during the Q&A session. I wanted to thank everyone for joining today. I appreciate everyone taking 30 minutes out of your day to join us today. This is really a continuation of our monthly 30-minute webinars that we're doing. These webinars are really designed to be 30 minutes with 20 minutes for kind of presentation review and about 10 minutes for Q&A. So we'll get started. We'll get started here. So real quickly, who we are. Many of you that I see that are joining us today know who Sound Payments is, and several of you who are new. But we're a software-based company based out of Jacksonville, Florida. We have several different product verticals that we support. Specifically today, what we're talking about is Sound POS. And we're going to focus on really 5 features that we believe ISOs and resellers will love that are kind of unique to the point of sale vertical, and we're looking forward to present that to you today. Also want to make sure that everyone understands that we're not an ISO, we're not a gateway, we're not a processor. We are a software company, really designed to bring products to the market for you, the ISO, for you, the reseller, and we're looking forward to continuing to build that channel. The product that we're specifically talking about today is Sound POS. It is a simple, easy to use retail and quick service restaurant point of sale solution for small business. We enable, from a software perspective, obviously tight inventory control and tracking, some embedded employee capabilities, log in, log out as an example, or clock in, clock out. The ability to track your customers, what they're buying, how often they're coming into the store. The ability to create and review sales tax. So for those of you that are having to report on a monthly basis, or maybe you have an accountant that does that, really quick, easy, efficient way to get your sales tax reporting in order to kind of report those to your state authorities. We do have a lot of customers actually too that will actually enable and give their accountant access to their back office of the point of sale in order to pull some of that sales data and pull some of that sales tax data as well, which I think is sometimes a really good solution and feature to allow some of that back office control and accountability to your actual accountant. Obviously, reports you can pull up locally on the actual point of sale itself, and also in the portal, or what we call the web back office. We've got some cash discounting feature functionality, in fact, which I'll touch on, and then some POS branding as well that I think is one of the unique features that we have. So who are we a fit for? And I'll touch on this a little bit here as well. We look to kind of provide a solution that's great for the small merchant that's looking to replace their current ECR, their current electronic cash register. So there are still a lot of cash registers, manual cash registers that are in the marketplace today. However, with the technology that's been around, we have a lot of opportunity for those merchants that are currently using or still on an electronic cash register, but they're needing some better reporting, and we have a great solution with Sound POS to enable that. Also, for those that are looking for an easy way to track sales, track items, again, track customers that we touched on. Within SoundPause, we have the ability to target particular marketing functionality and capabilities in order to communicate to those customers and get those customers back into that store. It's much easier and cheaper to get a merchant and keep that merchant and then get them back into your store. And we have some features and functionalities that enable that from a merchant perspective. Another thing is the ability to sell inside your store, but also outside your store. So we're going to touch on a little bit on the different hardware options and solutions that we have that actually enable a merchant to sell not only in their store but also outside their store, and we'll touch on that a little bit as well. I wanted to show a little bit of the certain verticals that we actually think SoundPause is a great fit for. I'm not going to go into all of these different verticals, but I did want to list out several of the customers that we're currently seeing gravitate to the Sound POS. So I've got a couple highlighted here. In particular, because we just done some recent installs of our solution in a cigar shop. Pawn shops are great, great verticals, for us. Veterinary clinics, also independent automotive garages. We've actually seen a pretty good uptick in those type of verticals gravitating to SoundPause. And also we've done some recent Mexican restaurants, as well. I want to say that we don't go after that full service sit down restaurant market. That's not what our solution is geared for. But if you got opportunities in that counter walk up, in that quick service restaurant type environment, we've got a great solution for that, and we're turning up lots of customers in that QSR counter walk up space as well. So let's get into kind of the 5 features that we think that you as an ISO, as a reseller, will really be interested in order to open up new selling opportunities into merchants that you might be looking for some features to kind of address. So we support some branding actually on the actual point of sale itself. So actual branding on the login screen. Here, this can either be the logo of the actual merchant, itself, or it could be, the logo of the actual ISO reseller. So if you're looking for an option or a solution that you can actually differentiate yourself from some of the competition in there, you can kind of brand this, as your own as well, or it can be branded for the actual, merchant. The other area that you can do some branding is actually on the administration page. So once you log in on the login screen on the POS, you're then taken to this administration page where you have access to the different type of reports, end of day report, customers, you track inventory. Also, this is where you launch the actual point of sale screen, but you also can have some branding capabilities on this screen as well. And then in addition to that, in the actual back office, again, you can kind of show here, we have this demo site called Bad Wolf Retail, and you can see here where we've got some different branding opportunities, for that merchant or for the ISO here in the back office as well. And then on the actual customer-facing display, there are some branding and some custom logos that you can add to the actual customer-facing display as well, which are neat as well to add. I wanted to touch on another feature here, which is integrated cash discounting and surcharge. So with integrated cash discounting, our solution is integrated within the point of sale. It's fully compliant with Visa and the cash discounting rules that they have. All purchase items will show 2 prices, one for cash and one for non-cash on both screens. So at the actual register screen, and then also the customer-facing screen will show both prices for both cash and for non-cash items. And then when cash discount is enabled, cash discount is entered as a percentage, obviously, and then it's applied to all purchase items. And then I have a sample here of what the actual point of sale screen would look like and where we actually show the different two totals between what would be the cash price and then what would be the non-cash or the cash discount price. Looking at surcharge, you're able to enable surcharge will allow merchants to add an additional fee or a surcharge on top of that subtotal price for customers who pay with a credit card. In addition to that, SoundPOS allows for the naming of that surcharge to be actual customized. So we've got some ISO partners that want to call that a convenience fee or a service fee as an example. So you have the complete flexibility to have that surcharge be a specific name like convenience fee or service fee. And again, here's a sample of a receipt where we have customized that surcharge fee to be called service fee. Again, nice feature within SoundPOS to be able to have the integrated cash discounting feature as well as a surcharge feature, and then the ability to actually customize that fee naming convention there. Moving on, another feature that we have is global price change, and so this is a great feature that enables basically the price change at the item level, at the category level, or the entire store. So I'll give you a great example. In fact, one of the local cigar shops that we turned up a little while ago actually had a 2% price change from his vendor that he buys from. So he actually buys from several vendors, but a specific vendor that he buys from had a 2% price change. He was able to go into global price change and literally within about 10 seconds do a 2% price price change to that actual category, and boom, he was done. So he didn't have to worry about going in and do that 2% price update to each individual item, but he did it actually based on that category. So really nice feature there that we have included within SoundPOS. Next is EBT, or electronic benefit transfer. Not every point-of-sale solution actually supports or integrates EBT checkout, and so we actually support that. So EBT is an electronic system that allows a recipient to authorize transfer of their own government benefits from a federal account to a retail account to pay for products received. And there's actually 3 different point-of-sale EBT methods that we support. So we support EBT cash, we support EBT voucher, and we support EBT SNAP. Now, I must confess, I'm not an expert on EBT, and we might have some questions around EBT and how we support that. I believe Dennis Palmer, who is our product manager, is on the line today. He might be able to ask that. But if we get technical with EBT, what we might do is we might take that offline and have a follow-up conversation with you. But again, a great feature that not all point-of-sale systems support today is the ability to accept EBT. So you can simply turn that on within the point-of-sale back office. And the other great thing that we do as well is you can actually enable only specific items to be paid for by EBT. So we go down to that level as well and enable only specific items to be supported for EBT purchase.
Mm-hmm. She's going to come bursting in here soon. That's okay.
And again, here's kind of an example of what that receipt would look like utilizing EBT cash.
Is this mine or Jack's? Mine.
And then the last feature here that I'd like to talk about that we support, and again, not all point of sale solutions actually support this, but it's actual cash back. So many of you can go to Walmart, or you can go to Target, or you can go to Publix, and you buy your groceries, and then you want $10 back, or you want $20 back, or whatever. That is a feature that we support within SoundPOS. So it's a great feature. You simply enable that in the back office, and then we also give you the ability to set a maximum amount. So you perhaps want to set a $30 or $100 up to a $200 max amount in terms of a cash back. So if you're purchasing something for $32 and you want $20 cash back, the merchant would be able to support that. Again, a reminder, it's simply restricted to debit cards only, and it has to be supported by the issuing bank. Again, we can have some offline conversations about some of the details around cashback. But again, another great feature that we support within SoundPOS that again is not found in a lot of our competition that you kind of see in this cloud mobile point of sale solution. And I see we've got a couple of hands raised for questions. I'll unmute everyone, and we can answer questions. Finally, for today, I wanted just to remind everyone that we support SoundPOS runs on all of the E-Series PAX devices along with the A920. So what I'm showing here now today is currently the E600 and the A920. These are great mobile handheld type solutions, and so the E600, as you see here, is a great solution for those that have a really small counter footprint. It's also great for food trucks, and so food trucks is another great vertical that we've seen a lot of growth in, and now that we're getting to be into the spring season, a lot of the food trucks are going to be coming back online. And so for those of you who work with food trucks or are looking to get into that vertical, the E600 is a great solution for that. It has a customer-facing display. It's got a built-in receipt printer. It supports NFC, and also obviously supports debit and EMV. Great solution, and this also can be function as a handheld device. You can't see it, but there's actually kind of a hand strap that goes under this, so that again you can sell in the food truck, or you could sell outside of the food truck, as an example. Another great solution is the A920, which is a true handheld solution. Given the environment that we're in today, where you've got a lot of restaurants that are kind of closing their actual restaurant, but maybe doing food delivery and things like that, the A920 is a great solution to be able to use for mobile delivery, and in this particular day and time. But again, just for those that want to even use it for line busting, or again, if you want to sell outside of your store in a mobile type application, the A920 is a great solution for that. And then we got the PAX E700, so slightly larger form factor. It has a 12.5-inch merchant-facing display. Again, it's got built-in receipt printer. Has dual cameras, both on the merchant side and the customer-facing side. Great solution. And this unit also supports biometric fingerprint for employee clock in or clock out as well. You could actually use it in that for that form factor. And then also the PAX E500. We've been selling and using a lot of the PAX E500 today. It's a great small form factor. It's compact, great customer-facing display as well, and we're selling a lot of those devices as well. And then finally for today, and then I'll open it up for for questions for Q&A. One of the differentiators, one of the features, I could almost say that this is a bonus feature on top of the 5 that we just looked at, and that is the fact that we're processor neutral, right? So we believe that the merchant and the ISO reseller should be making a decision on terms of what's the best processor, what's the best credit card processor for that particular merchant. And so we're not forcing that merchant or that ISO reseller to use one particular processor. We're processor neutral, and we support all of the major processor brands today. we've got the ability you have the ability actually to make additional revenue on the software and on the hardware. So again, we have a specific buy rate, and then you, the ISO reseller, then can mark that up essentially to whatever you want, so you can have good healthy margins not only on the software but also on the hardware. It's a simple, easy solution to sell. We have a team of folks that are here to support you. So if you got an ISO and you've got a sales team and you need help during that sales process, we're obviously there to help you do that. And then obviously, we're a complete back office, cloud solution. So as long as you've got an internet connection, as long as you've got, the ability to get to the web, all of that data, all of the customer data, all of their sales reporting, all of anything and everything that they need, to have access to, as long as they can access the internet, all of that data can be supplied and looked at in the cloud in the back office on any device. So with that, I'm going to open up, basically unmute everyone, and if you've got questions, feel free to pose those, and I'll answer those as best as I can. And then let me just kind of unmute everyone here.
Yes.
So Alexander, I think you had a question, so I'll let you go first here. What question do you have, and let's see what we can answer.
Yeah, actually, I have a number of questions regarding the Surcharge program, right?
Yeah.
Who registers the merchant with Visa and MasterCard? Does the merchant do that himself, or do we register him, or do you register him?
So we don't get into registering the merchant. So that would typically be done at the ISO reseller level. And then obviously we support with cash discounting. We support obviously from a compliance perspective, we're in full compliance. So that would be done at the ISO reseller level.
Okay. Second, regarding the support of PIN-based debit as well as EBT. I'm sure that there's got to be an encryption key that goes in there for PIN-based debit. Who's doing the encryption when the equipment is getting deployed? Is that being done by you or by the point of sale company, the reseller?
Alexander, that's a great question, and I appreciate you bringing that up. So we actually you really don't kind of care where the hardware comes from. So if you already have a relationship with TPG or CDE as an example, or POS Portal or POS Data, and you source the PAX E-Series or the A920 from one of those hardware companies, they will also do the key injection. So essentially, just all that's needed is the VAR sheet. So if you've got a relationship today with any of those companies, they're the ones that will actually do the key injection, for those devices for that particular merchant.
Got it. With regards to let's say a customer owned A920, because I'm sure we're going to start seeing those in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Can it be reprogrammed to download your software, and how do you go about reprogramming the keys, the PIN-based debit keys? What do you do there?
That's a great question, and that's probably a question that Alexander, I probably want to take offline. So I know that the devices can be reprogrammed, and PAX actually supports remote key injection. So that's probably how that would happen. Technically and specifically, that process for injecting a device or re-injecting a device that's already been used with another processor, I'm not exactly sure of how that process works, but PAX does support remote key injection. But we can get some more specifics for you on that in particular.
Got it. And one last question, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Related to the A920. As I understand, they come with two ports for the SIM card, SIM cards that you cannot install. And my experience with mobility is that you may go to one location and all of a sudden there's no connectivity there. You can't reach the satellite. So I know that you can put two different providers in the unit, like let's say Verizon and AT&T. Is this device capable of doing two SIM cards at once?
That's a great question. I don't believe so. I think it's only one SIM card. So I don't think
supports dual SIM.
it does support dual SIM. Thank you, Dennis.
Yes.
So Dennis, who is our product manager,
device right now, it does support the dual SIM capability.
Okay, I'm done. No more questions here.
great. Those are Alex's are all great questions. Appreciate that. Kai, I think you were next, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Appreciate it, Doug. It's K, just like the letter. Just a quick question, actually, for you guys. In terms of integrations, do you guys have an API, say, for instance, to integrate into the likes of QuickBooks or like an e-commerce channel at all?
Yeah, we actually do have a pretty significant, API set within Sound Payments. Probably what we should do, Kay, is kind of chat offline and see specifically what you're looking for. But we do have a pretty robust API solution and set that we can certainly talk about.
Okay. Just as we're talking along the lines of APIs and integrations, I saw that you guys support delis, right? Like in QSRs. Do you guys integrate with the scale or?
Ooh, great question. I'm glad Dennis is on the phone to hear this. So we actually do support weighted items. And so, in fact, the cigar shop that I referenced earlier, one of the reasons why they went with us is the fact that we do support weighted items, because he does sell loose tobacco. And so you basically put in your cost per ounce or whatever, and then you weigh it, and then you key that in on the point of sale. But it's not integrated. So if you weigh something and that weight gets automatically transferred into the point of sale, and it does the calculation. I don't have an integrated scale solution today. It's something that we're absolutely looking at, and part of the issue there is also finding a scale that also supports the Android OS, but it's certainly something that we're actively looking at.
Cool. And just one last question, if I may, Doug. In terms of ongoing customer support, is that something that that you expect us to handle, or what does that look like?
I mean, that's
is
another
it
great
365 or 24/7, 365, or Eastern hours?
Yeah, that's another great question, Kay. So we actually have two models, right? So it really depends on you. So we have a model, in that you can provide, tier one support to your merchant, because we do have a lot of ISO resellers that want to manage and kind of control that overall, merchant experience. And so we absolutely can train you to provide tier one support. If you don't want to do that, then yes, we've got a 24/7 by 365 support team that can support that merchant and provide that tier one support. So we have both models. So it really depends on you.
Okay. Perfect. I appreciate it.
Great question. Anybody else have any questions? Great questions. Great feedback. So if not, we are right at the 2:30 mark. We're right at the 30-minute mark. I'll stay on here for just a couple more minutes if folks come up with any questions. But again, be looking in your email for a follow up. If you're interested in getting this, getting a copy of this presentation, happy to share it. Just reach out to us, and we will have another webinar in a month. We're not sure exactly what the topic will be, but it'll be good. And again, we want to keep these short. We understand that you guys are investing this time, so we want to make sure that we're bringing information that's relevant and important to you guys as well.
Hey, Doug, could I ask one more question just while I have your time here?
Yeah, Kate.
Just working with a few, automotive shops. I know that they have some issues even more moving on towards the cloud for their inventory because they need, serialization for
Yep.
warranty purposes. Is that something you guys are able to work with?
Yeah, so I'm going to let Dennis. Dennis, if you're still on the line, do we support serial numbers? So in that particular case, so you talking about you have like an independent garage who wants to install a part that has a serial number that has some type of warranty attached to that.
You got
Is that kind of a scenario?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I want to say yes. That shouldn't be a problem because now that's logged in the system. That serial number is now out of the system, and that serial number is now attached to that sale and to that customer. So the answer would be yes. He can reference that transaction, go back and say, okay, you're within warranty. This was sold less than a year ago. You're still covered.
Perfect. Appreciate John.
Any other questions? Well, folks, I appreciate it. Great turnout today. Hopefully, this has been beneficial for you. We took a look at some of the features that we wanted to kind of highlight today, and we thought that these are 5 great features. Several of them being features that you will not see and find in other point of sale solutions. Kind of in this market, in this vertical, and so hopefully this has been beneficial to you. Hopefully you've picked up a couple of things, and obviously our team is here to help you and support you. And again, be on the lookout for the next webinar here in the next month. And with that, I'll be signing off. And again, I appreciate everyone's time today, and we look forward to working with you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug. Great work.
Yep. Take care, guys.